Okay, guys, sorry about it being so long. I apologize. Okay, so part 2. Some of the doctor's appointments that he's had this month, he went to see the orthopedic doctor. It was like an hour away or so. We had planned to make a little bit more of a day of it, go out to lunch and go to the mall up there. But we didn't. We got out of here late, and it's just so hard with him. And it's, it's not just specific to Nate. It's hard with any baby, taking any baby anywhere. But we went up to the orthopedic doctor. We got really great news. Basically what we were going up there for is people with Stickler syndrome can have hip malformations where the hips aren't formed properly. My husband had that when he was a kid, and he had to have surgery on him where they had to put pins in his hips and then eventually take him out. I don't know exactly what was involved with it. It's hard to, with this, kind of compare it to my husband, even though he had the same thing, because things are so different. My husband's almost 40 years old, and when he had his stuff, things were a lot different medically than they are now. And we kind of talked to the doctor a little bit about that, and he said that's, stuff like that's just not done anymore. They handle it differently. So, that's always good, and that's the thing about Nate and our decision to have more kids and everything, is things are just, my husband has lived through things and, had surgeries and had problems and things like that, but everything is so much different now that it's just not going to be as bad, even in a worst case scenario. So, anyhow, we went up there. He, did like a physical exam, where he checked his, hips and legs and everything, and he didn't see anything. And then they have an x-ray right there. It was a huge facility. It was really nice. And they did some x-rays. My concern is, I do have a little bit of a concern that Nate's had so many x-rays on stuff. What started all this, let me backtrack just a second. I'm sorry, I know I'm rambling. Is that when he was going to get, excuse me, the feeding tube inserted, they did a barium study, which is where they put a barium substance, basically like a dye, where they could trace it down through his digestive tract and make sure everything was working okay and that there was no issues with him getting the tube. And when they did that, when they followed it down to like his intestines or whatever, they got the top of his hips. We happened to ask, did they show, when they talked about that study, we happened to ask because we knew there was an issue with hips, if they showed the hips, and they said they did. So we looked at it, they pulled the x-rays, and they told us the hips were malformed. Well, come to find out, they weren't. And when we've gotten back here, sometime, if I ever have the time and energy, will do a NICU video. We were just given so much wrong information that it's amazing these people are doctors and nurses. And I just, if we had to do all this again, I would do it completely different. Because when we went to that NICU up and like an hour away, I just am not at all, knowing what I know now, happy with what happened up there. But anyhow, when we gotten back here after that NICU, we talked to his pediatrician about the hips, and they said it's very difficult to tell if they're malformed at this point, because when babies were that little, he was 2 months at a time, he said the bones have not calcified. They're still very like cartilage almost. They're more flexible, and they haven't hardened yet. So he said he'd refer him to the orthopedic doctor, which he did. But anyhow, we met with the orthopedic doctor. He said he absolutely does not have malformed hips, which was excellent news. It was so wonderful to hear that. He said, there is a difference in his bone structure. Nothing that's going to cause a problem that he sees at this point. He can definitely tell that he's got Stickler syndrome, but it's not anything, it's just the way the bones form. And so that's really good news. He wants to see him again next summer. I think we'll just have, like I said, after we get all these initial appointments out of the way, we'll just have follow-up visits. We'll just kind of monitor Nate and make sure that nothing develops or anything like that. Corky, stop it! So, that was excellent news. I was so happy to hear that. I was worried, and I had asked him, and he said they definitely don't do any kind of major surgery like they did on my husband. I think that is just about it. Things are going really well with him. He continues to just absolutely amaze us every day. He's just such a good baby. I wish, I hear such horror stories about people and their kids. They won't sleep. They won't, You know, they don't eat, they're fussy, I mean, he's just so good. I don't feel any teeth coming in yet. Like I said, that's the only time he's really fussy. You can tell that his teeth are bothering him. He wants to chew on everything. And it really reminds me of when my dog was teething, how he would chew on everything. Nate will hold on to your finger and he'll like really try hard to bring it to your mouth. He really wants something he can just chomp on. And he puts his own fingers in his mouth, and he's such a good baby. We are looking to, he's still on the continuous feeds at night, and I'll do a video on that at some point to show you exactly what that entails, but we are looking to stop that. The speech therapist thinks that's probably a good idea as well. He's sleeping through the night. He's always slept through the night. And I don't think it's as big of an issue as, I'm kind of worried about how he'll sleep afterwards without it. I don't think he'll sleep as long, because right now he sleeps like 12 hours. But I think that it's something that just he needs to be off. And it concerns me because he has a tube, running from his stomach. And he's getting to the point where he's turning all the way around in his crib. Like, we put his head here, when he wakes up, his head's here. And I'm just concerned that, it hasn't happened as of yet, knock on wood, but I'm concerned that, that could get wrapped around his neck, or his arm, or his leg. I don't like it. I don't like it, like that. I mean, we secure it the best we can, so it's off him. But, anything could happen, and I just prefer for it not to be in there. So we do have a doctor's appointment coming up that the speech therapist is actually going to go to us with, so that she can speak with the doctor, and they can kind of come up with a game plan. I don't know if it means we'll feed him maybe for a shorter amount of time. Maybe we'll do like a 5-hour feed instead of a 9-hour feed. I don't know. I don't exactly know what's going to happen, but because he's really not getting that much. He's getting, over the entire course of 9 hours at night, 378 cc's, which I'll tell you how many ounces that is. That's a little over 12 ounces. It's 12.6 ounces. So, it's really not a lot as far as, because he's, right now we have him feeding at 6 ounces per feeding, like during the day and she said, the speech therapist says it's really low, but he's gaining weight, and he's, how much, you guys can answer this better than I can. I haven't Google searched or anything, but how much do your kids take at 5 months, or did they take at 5 months, per feeding? He's, like I said, he's growing. We weighed him yesterday, and we weighed him just on our scale, and he's over 16 pounds. I think it is. We don't have an exact, but he goes to the doctor's next week, so. Well, that's it. Let me know, if you would, how many ounces your kids took at 5 months, because she says he should be at 9 or 10 ounces, which that's a lot more than he takes now. And I will try to do some video footage of him at 5 months so you guys can see how cute he is, how adorable he is. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.